What's up, everyone? I got a surprise. It was a long time coming, but I finally managed to find a barber in France. Yo, ta-da! Yo, it's off. It's clean. It's sharp. I'm happy. Gone with the messy hair. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you here. Of course, we're going to be wearing the cap, but we were talking about hairdressers and stuff not too long ago, so I had to show it. That is also why the live stream starts a little bit later than usual, because they only had an opportunity this afternoon during the usual stream hours. So I was sitting on the chair getting my hair cut, you know. But yeah, it's a good place. I'm happy. So we got that done. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you here. Today's live stream, of course, as always, gonna cover Elliott waves. And then we go into chatting and Q&A, right? And I have till 5 p.m., so another 45 minutes. We have more than enough time. And we're going to have a good time. So thanks, everyone. I'm glad you guys like it. So it was about time. Haven't been for a while. Usually it takes months. And, you know, it gets messy. My hair is quite fluffy, so when I then walk outside, it goes like everywhere, you know. So short hair usually works better. And I found a great barber here in Nice. It's South Side Barbers, I believe it is. I don't know. First time I went there, I forgot the name, lol. But yeah, good stuff. Welcome, everyone. So ready for another live stream covering the chart, no? So welcome, Beerbit. Good to have you here. Everyone, short announcement. Beerbit is going to have his own channel in Discord. Going to make a separate section for him. This is his YouTube channel, but this is Beerbit. He currently has his own thread in Discord. Beerbit is the person got me into Elliott waves, and he is a great trader himself. So here is the Beerbit TA Lounge. And very, very active here in the lounge. But he's going to have his own section. And so you have here analysis, general, and then I'll make a Beerbit section where he can provide updates. But also he gets a Q&A channel as well. So an update channel and the Q&A channel. You can see how much this guy, like, he's writing books. A lot of work. So, you know, we already have, I think, about 60, 70 people that are following his work here. But it will be easier for you to find his channels coming soon. So, yeah, preparations are being made. Welcome, Beerbit. Eva, good to have you here. Christian, Themistocles, Castellano, thanks for your kind comment. It's a pleasure. Happy to have you here in the community as well. Happy you find it valuable and helpful. It's thanks to you, right? Like every one of you being part of the community is what makes it what it is. No? Rodney, thank you. Samith, what's up? One of the people very active in Discord as well. Samith, always sharing his knowledge and interesting stories about the VWeb use or anchored VWeb. Samith, very, very interested in reading that part. And no worries, you can continue talking about it. Yannick, how you doing? I'm doing good. Thanks, JP. Matthias, welcome from Argentina, man. Have a good day. Sam, AH44. Maybe I have to say aha. I'm never sure, like, if it's AH44 or aha. You know, like the fours are A's. Who knows? Legendario, good to see that you caught a live stream this time. Brainfeeder, Christian, what's up? How is Gold doing, Christian? No? I think Gold is still very much following the plan we made over half a year ago. No? So what's up, Crazy T1? Thanks for your fits. I just found you a couple of days ago. I'm super interested in your weekly analysis into 2025. You're at the right place. Thanks for being here, Crazy T. Thanks for subbing to the channel, following the videos. And we're here pretty much every day. Unless I'm traveling or something, there's always going to be an update every day. Usually more than one, but at least one in most cases. So happy to have you here, and we'll see how the waves are going to develop. No cap indeed. No cap indeed. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Raul, welcome. Kam Dickman, Karim, Sam, what's up, Bledu? Mindset Genset. Yeah, Birabit. Yeah, very active. Thanks, Raul. Yeah. If you could take a look at your thoughts, please. Thank you. Yes, we will, Roman. We will. That's why I'm here. Send me the link to the Discord. It's in the description. First link in the description, or you can click in the description on the LINKTREE here as well. And then go to Koens Trading social media, and then here's the Discord. Discord is the most active place, I suppose. Edolol Alexandra, welcome. Alexander Boudreau. Good to have you here. Welcome. QZ World. Marcin, yesterday while watching your stream, I noticed that a lot of hair was sticking out at around your ears, and I thought this hair must be really long. Yep. Yeah, it's like I have like it's not like full curls, of course, but if it gets longer, then the ends of my hair start curling, and that's what you see when I wear a cap. But I like short hair, not gonna lie. It's also easier. It makes life easy as well. Later in the past, Udanta. Okay, so let's start. Yota, just learning. You're in the right place as well. If you're interested in Elliott waves or this form of technical analysis, which in my opinion is the best way to predict future price action using historic price action, right? Because that's what you do with technical analysis anyway. But I think Elliott waves is the most powerful, most amazing tool that you can have in your toolbox to get a great idea of where price goes. And then, of course, you need to develop a trade. You can trade Elliott waves, or you develop an additional plan to trade into the direction of your bias, which is what most people do. But I think, especially once you're in price discovery and all-time highs, I think Elliott waves it's like, for me, in my opinion, I mean, of course, I'm biased. Also not. I got into Elliott waves also because of this. It helps me to read price action like a book. So I know exactly what's going on. I know the probabilities, and I, aim to trade into that direction. And especially in price discovery, with the ranges that are forming locally, Elliott waves is incredibly helpful. It's like, for me, I'm not sure how many people agree, but for me, it is the best tool that you can use to get a feeling for the direction, like probabilities for the direction of the market. And when in all-time highs, it's very beneficial. So, okay. What we're going to do in today's live stream, of course, is exactly this, Elliott waves. We won't spend too much time analyzing because, of course, price. Yeah, I mean, we have a bit of a retracement here to the downside, so we will have a short look locally. But on the higher time frames, of course, not much changes. Price is pushing, and as long as price is pushing on the higher time frames without any significant retracement, the scenarios stay the same. So yeah, we're going to starting again weekly, daily, and then we go into the low time frames. Weekly, daily will go very quick, and then we go into the 50-minute time frame, and I'll share a little bit more about what's happening there. The gold top is in. Thanks for your help. Cheers, Christian. I haven't been looking at gold. I think initially I had a couple of 4-5 still to come, but maybe I have to revisit that chart after almost a year. So, Udanta, make sure to share your account in Discord. I can have a look there if you tag me, because we're going to focus on Bitcoin here and then cover the questions as well. Maybe later, if we do have time, I can check some quick alts, but let's focus on Bitcoin first. So, 15 minutes into the live stream. Let's get it going. Okay, so short summary. This will literally take 2 minutes. Scenario weekly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure, target for 5, 81K, 129K. Wave 5 has to, of course, internally be an impulse, meaning a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. Currently, we're then looking for this move up to be a wave 3, which means that you're still looking for 4 5s, right? So you have your 1, 2, 1, 2, and then eventually 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So in other words, on the weekly, you would like to see price continue, higher price is expected. Keep an eye on the volume, because what you like to see between a wave 3 and a wave 5 is a higher high on a lower amount of volume. If, however, price is going to increase in volume and move above this peak here, we have to consider this more bullish scenario where you move up after a 1, 2, 1, 2, and this is your 3, which is very bullish. Much higher targets expected, and in this case, we basically want to easily move through 80 to 129K. Now, time-wise, on a monthly time frame, based on my analysis on another chart on a monthly, the ideal end is between March and October 2025, which of course is a big time span, but again, based on lower time frame counts, we will be a lot more accurate. In this scenario here, if we want to end a wave 5 between March and October, right, in other words, we still have at least 5 months, right? 4 or 5 months. So that is a lot of time for a wave 5. So we have then 1, 2, 1, 2, right? We need 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Now the 4s can take a lot of time, but let's see where we are towards the end of the year. I'll have a much better idea if we're looking for a 5 or if we're actually looking for a continuation to the upside. At the moment, doesn't change. Probability is higher on the weekly to still move to higher prices. If price does again have higher volume than what we had here, this scenario is going to take over as the higher probability scenario. On the daily time frame, we here have a double 1-2. Earlier today, I got a question about why don't I have a 1-2 here? And I can imagine more people maybe have that question. Why do I not have a 1-2 here? Now, it has to do with being conservative, because one could count a 1-2 here. That's an option for a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and you continue up. However, there is also the opportunity here to count a W, X, and a triangle in Y, which ends here for a double 1-2, right? And this price action here is really messy. Right? It's a very, very messy part of the chart. So is this part of a triangle or is this a 1-2? We'll figure that out at a later stage, because it doesn't actually matter in the short term. As you are looking for a double 1-2, 3, bare minimum is a double 4-5. And after your wave 5 is finished in yellow, which is your higher degree 5. So once this is finished, the retracement will decide if this was another 1-2 or not. That's basically, because if this is going to be corrective, then we look for price to continue up and then another 1-2 added. If not, and we get a bigger retracement and a much bigger range, well, then this is correct. So it helps with being more conservative, right? Because in this case, you do not necessarily expect another 4-5, right? This is then going to be the temporary high, and the retracement is what's going to give you more information about continuation or to the upside or a bigger retracement. Now here we have a double 1-2 invalidation, 66.7K. You look for continuation to the upside, the highest amount of volume. What is this? Sell, market, shift plus. I'm not interested. Thank you. I want my volume here. So you can see the highest amount of volume in this uptrend is in the recent move up. So preferably this is part of a wave 3, right? Which is then also what we're looking for, the yellow wave 3. If we then open the 4-hour time frame chart, then in a bit more detail, you can see that the volume in this move up here is in the recent push. So preferably this is your 3. So we can count another 1, 2, and this is part of a 3. And that is the blue count you see on my chart, right? So the blue count is then your 1, 2, you look for 3, 4, 5, and inside blue 3, right? Because we go down in the time frames, it might look a little bit messy maybe, but You have the weekly impulse, and then you have the daily multi 1, 2. But then inside the green wave 3, you have the blue impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the blue wave 3, you have internally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You can scale down the time frames basically. And what we're looking for here is then eventually, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with in white another 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5, right? Invalidation for this white wave 4 is 82.5K. If price moves down and hits 82.5K, a wave 4 is invalidated, which means your bullish scenario becomes another 1, 2 here, or over here, 1, 2, and then your invalidation moves below the blue 2, right? That's going to be your first choice of another bullish scenario. And then, of course, you have other scenarios that are not yet relevant, like wave 4s or bearish scenarios. So let's first keep an eye on the potential here of 4 and continuation up in 5, which has the highest probability from an Elliott wave point of view. Now the 0.618 here is taken from the low of the white 2 to the current high we have on the chart. And the common target for wave 4 is between the 236 and the 05. You can see that the 0.382 is touched, right? Which is cool. Perfectly fine. That's a nice target for a 4, but the 05, 83.8 still very fine as well. 82.5 should not be touched because it invalidates a wave 4 counted as a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it does, then what I'll do is move this down. Then I will have this up here, this there, this here, and then the next thing I'm going to check is this, right? So this is your wave 4, and now I'm still talking about it now. So your more bullish scenario would be another 1, 2 up, and your more bearish scenario is going to be to look for a 3, a blue 4, and then a blue 5, and your blue 4 invalidation is 80.7K, right? So let me repeat this. So currently, probabilities are highest. We're looking for this white 4, right? If price would move down to 82, right? Probabilities change. Wave 4 invalidated. Therefore, the probabilities are higher that this is a finished 5-wave structure, which we are either labeling as a new wave 1, right? So you have a 1, 2 in blue, and then another 1, 2 and up. Invalidation is the low at 75. Alternatively, you're going to have your blue 3 here, and then you look for your blue 4. And the blue 4 has an invalidation of 80.8K. But as you can see, the probabilities are still higher for continuation up, right? Even if you would get a bit of a deeper retracement than what we have now, it doesn't matter for the probabilities. You would really need to move below 75 here before you're going to think twice about, okay, you know, we might actually have a bigger retracement on our hands now. At the moment, you want to hold 75.7 in this bull market, right? At least make another high before you would go down that far. No? So you can see this is how the probabilities and scenarios change, but the outcome is the same. So as complex as it may sound at times with Elliott waves, the directional bias remains the same. Now on the daily, we had the bearish scenario here, right? Which is a 3-wave A, 3-wave B, 5-wave C. Wasn't the highest probability, never has been the highest probability. And currently it is even reduced in its probabilities because wave B hit the 1.618, which is a very uncommon, like a rare target for B. So it lowers the probabilities for this scenario compared to the multi 1, 2. But nonetheless, it is your bearish option. Now locally, 15-minute time frame. Price made another low before moving above this high here, right, as per the morning video. Now this structure to the downside, right, can you count this as a 5-waver? Of course you can, but is it high probability? No. And the reason is that if you take a fib from the high of 2 to the low of 4, your wave 4 touched the 618. Now, based on what I just explained, you'll know the 618 is an invalidation for 4. So this count doesn't make sense, a 5-wave impulse to the downside, right? So what makes more sense is the following. For the bulls, we have A, B, C, that's your W, and then there is the potential of a finished Y. I gotta say wave Y is a little short, but at least you have the option. Is it this one? Yeah. Because a minimum target for Y is the 0.618, and it has been touched. So a minimum target for Y is reached, and it is a common target at least, or for a double, by the way, for a double zigzag, your common target is down here. But the 0.618 for a wave Y is a target. So at least you tap the target, let's say. So there is the potential for a finished corrective structure where this is then your A, B, and this is your C to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure, right? So you look for W, X, Y, or a bigger sideways range, which is a bigger WXY. Do we have to know exactly what's going on? It's still relatively early, but not per se. But the probabilities arguably are higher that you don't have a finished WXY because the 618 is just less common. So looking for preferably then a bit of a bigger sideways structure. But then again, WXY probabilities are higher in the future to still move to the upside after you're finished correcting. Your bearish alternative is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason this is an alternative and lower a probability count, that's important. So a WXY is bullish. Why? This is a corrective count, and after a finished WXY, you look for price to continue its way to the upside, continue the trend, right? Also, if you finish a WXY, you continue up. That's what you're looking for, right? Price moving up, 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 bullish CVDs and market structure, and on you go, right? So after a WXY, you see price continue towards the upside, right? Fine. After a 5-wave structure, you have the potential of a much deeper retracement. The issue, however, with counting this as an impulse is that your wave 5 has the highest amount of volume in the low. You can go to a 3-minute time frame, you'll see it here. So we have the move down, highest volume in 5, which is very uncommon. It's very uncommon for a wave 5 to have the highest amount of volume in an impulse. It's most common in a wave 3. Right? So that lowers the probabilities that this is an impulsive structure to the downside. Right? Second, this has to be your wave 4, and your wave 4 is shorter than your wave 2. As you can see, right? Wave 4 finished before the vertical line. So wave 4 shorter than wave 2 is also less common. Now, both of these, the volume and wave 4 shorter than 2, is not an invalidation, but it impacts the probabilities negatively for an impulse to the downside, which therefore increases the probabilities that this move down is a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure, which therefore increases the probabilities to, at a later stage, still take out the high. Which therefore, you see how we are stacking probabilities now, which therefore increases the probabilities on a higher time frame, right? That we are looking, let me shortly remove the 618 here, that we are looking for a continuation and price to not go below 75. No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is what we're looking for, right? That's your primary at the moment. And then continuation to the upside afterwards. So that is how that's currently the probabilities, right? So at the moment, probability is higher. This is corrective. Preferably, it's a unfinished corrective structure. I don't really like having a finished WXY. Wave Y here feels very short. Would make more sense to me if we get a bigger WXY corrective structure, right? A bigger sideways range, maybe take the lows once more. We have a range here, which of course can act. Structure is very important in a bull market, so it's interesting support, but by all means, I am mostly interested in longs, not in shorts. I have taken absolutely zero shorts, so I'm still only looking for longs. And if that means that this would be your low and price continues up, well, I know what I'm looking for based on my plan. So if I get the opportunity, I'll join. But from an Elliott wave point of view, finish WXY potential, right? Minimum target is reached, so we have to be aware of the potential of continuation. It would, however, fit a bit nicer if it's a little bigger. Let's see if we would put one there. Yeah, I also wouldn't mind time-wise, but yeah, that's the probabilities. So oops, sorry, I touched the mic there. So in the on the weekly time frame, the probabilities are higher for the bulls, right? And depending on the volume on a weekly time frame, we'll decide if we have a multi-1-2 and we move up in a 3, or if we're looking for a 5. At the moment, the 5 is the primary until volume exceeds 3, right? On a daily time frame, we're looking for the double 1-2, where we're now having our green wave 3, right? On the 4-hour time frame, we are currently observing this scenario here, white 4 and then 5 up, right? Yeah, and then on the 50-minute time frame, probabilities are higher that this is corrective, not impulsive. So unrelated to all the subdivisions here, the probabilities are higher to still continue the trend and eventually take out all-time high again. And just a side note, something that's interesting or a little tip, if price moves up and creates a higher high and volume continues to increase, right, then we're going to label this as another like 1-2. So you're going to have either 1-2, 1-2 continue up, or you label this as 1-2 continue up, because your primary count is always going to have the highest volume in a wave 3, right? Not in a wave 1, not in a wave 5. It always starts with wave 3. But that is just future stuff. That's how potentially counts can change as new information comes in. But yeah. So that's that. Ta-da! That's the Elliott wave analysis, really. What is the length of the wave 4? You mean in time? It's still shorter than pleasure, guys. Thanks, Legendario, Come Dickman. If you would compare your 4 here against your 2, right? You take, so flat in a 2, A, B, C, fib time taken, start 1 and 2 to your high. 1 second here. Which one is it? Okay, that one. You can see the current low is made before the 1-to-1. Well, a little less common, but at least it's been made after the 382, which is a minimum target. So again, the minimum target for also WXY, minimum target for Y is reached, minimum time target is reached. So we can't so there's no need to correct longer. It's just that from a time and target perspective, it would be nicer to have a bigger structure in a 4 here. So otherwise, we might of course look for another 1-2, and if we do continue up and volume continues to increase, we're just going to be looking for higher targets every time. I mean, from a time perspective, if we think about time, if this here is a 1, let me put this on the chart here, everything. If this is 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 3. If this is already white 4, white 5, blue 4, blue 5, green 4, green 5, yellow 4, yellow 5. Like, and it's the 12th of November. If you're already moving into 4/5s now, it might be a bit quick from a time perspective. Wave 4s, of course, tend to be longer than your 2s, but it's very unlikely we would finish this whole structure after March. No? Like, probably, like, if this is already white 4, then maybe you reach March. But yeah, so at the moment we just take it step by step, or as I like to say it, we take it range by range, because the range is what will give you all of the information that you need. So yeah. 12 or 24 minutes. I've never used 12 or 24. Those are not really standard, I guess. I mean, you have the 1, 3, 5, 15, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hour. I don't use 12 or 24. Never have, actually. Elliott wave analysis. It's not that it doesn't work, of course. Everyone has their own style. But it's not a time frame that I tend to use myself. Now chatting, and so we have another 23 minutes for chatting Q&A before I have to go. So if anything is up, let me know. Yeah, learning range. Yeah, so ranges, that's where, honestly, that's where Elliott waves is most powerful. It's the ranges. Of course, like an impulse is easy. Like once you go. Like that's also why I tend to upload like twice a day the past couple of days instead of 3 times. There's not much to say, right? Oh yeah, we're pumping again. Oh, by the way, this is the same weekly scenario, right? Like, yeah. So it's better to fall back than to the videos I already made. And an impulse is easy, because you're just gonna track wave 4's price moves up. You're gonna have your wave 2 invalidations and your 4s, but it's the ranges where the positions are entered, right? Like if you wanna, I mean, if you wanna trade, and it's more like a swing, then this is the area for your swings. Once the probabilities were higher to move up, bullish CVDs, very, very interesting, right? And now, as price is here, before I enter another long, I need a range to form, right? I will never long in the middle of a pump. So I need retracements like these. I need some sideways price action, and then I can get to work, right? Short. I think. Didn't we do? I did render like recently. Wait, did it? Oh, it immediately goes into a video. We have to change the link, I think. But we literally we did render. Was it this one? No. Oh wait, I think we had a look at render in the middle of another live stream where we covered Bitcoin. But Odin, just send me a message in the mod chat or in the altcoin and tag me there. So I'll have a quick look. But let me see here. Link to Discord. We've done it. It must be bottom. They wanted us to leave with a question mark. I mean, from an Elliott wave point of view, if you also go back and you move through the content over the past couple of months, the probabilities. I remember when price made this low, right, on top of our big area of support, right, the value area high of the previous all-time high range. Let me get this on the chart. It's been a while since I've shown this. Here we go. Right, so very nicely respected, tested once again, plus it was a monthly. That's the box on the chart, this one here, support resistance area. And then as price moved up, it was tricky in the beginning because you had this like three wavy structure. This was very, very, very ugly and still is. And that is why there's the potential here to count this as a triangle A, right? So you have a three wave A, B, C, D, E, finished, right? So here it's like, is this impulsive? Yes or no? Yeah, we don't know. Is the low in? Maybe, maybe, maybe not. Now, the moment you had a three wave structure to the downside here and we moved up, and especially once you take this high here, right, and you confirm a three wave, the probabilities increase to take out the high because this is now a three wave structure. Now, price moves up, takes out the high, comes back down, right? Of course, we had bullish CVDs, but then again here, we move down, three wave structure, we come back up, and once you take out the high, pretty much confirming your three wave here, right, volume increasing, you look for this high again, right? And then again, corrective price action here, you look for the next high, corrective price. So the probabilities, of course, on the weekly were always higher for continuation. On the daily time frame, the probabilities for the bulls started to increase after the low was made with the potential of an ABC finished. And then, of course, for a WXY, we had the triangle, but it took a bit more time. When we only had this info like this, we weren't like, you can't yet be completely sure. We had the bullish scenarios on the chart, right? Because we're always prepared, but then they really took over once you took out this high. And then it's just up. Every range was corrective. So, and that's what we like to see. Is gold in a major fourth wave move? I would need to check gold. I haven't been there for a while. But I think in my analysis that I did, I don't know, like 10 months ago now, we were looking for still a couple of 4-5s. I also think that on gold, your latest move up is now on the highest amount of volume in the local trend. Yeah, makes sense to at least look for 4s and put the 618 on the chart. XFG. Puerto forever. Thanks, man. And X-Force Global recommended you in his top 10 analysts for Elliott Wave in his channels. Just wish you had more confidence in one or two count. Yeah, I know. I get. First of all, thanks, X-Force Global. Maybe he's watching. If you're here, appreciate it, bud. But with regards to the counts, I show counts on multiple time frames. So it's always either 1 or 2 counts per time frame, and then it's the probabilities at the end. And that's also how Elliott waves work. So when I analyze the chart, I have a weekly bullish scenario, and then I have an alternative bullish scenario, right? The probabilities are as explained. On the daily, I currently have this one, the bullish, and the bearish, with the bullish being the higher probability. Now, of course, it might look like, oh, you got 4 scenarios, but actually it's 2 per time frame because you scale down in the time frame. So there's 2 weekly, I have 2 daily, I have 1 4-hour, and then 1 15-minute. So yeah, I could make it a bit more simple, I suppose, by covering only 1 time frame per video, and then just, just shorter video, only the daily or only the weekly or only the monthly or only the 15-minute. But in the context of price discovery, I like to go from outside in, so high time frame to the lower time frames, but it might be a bit more confusing. So I always have a lot of confidence in my counts because I think I might be the only Elliott Wave analyst that clearly communicates probabilities for the Elliott Wave counts. So with the counts that I do, the confidence, if you like to use the word, but just the analysis is very clear and the probabilities are very clear. That's why I communicate them. But I go through the time frame, so it might look a bit messy, but it's good feedback to have, because sometimes I'm thinking like, how can I make it more easy for newer people to follow? Because Elliott Waves, of course, does have a lot of terminology and theory, So I try to make my charts look as simple as possible, but I don't want to skip on the detail, right, which is important. Not everyone might be able to follow it, but people with at least general, I suppose, Elliott wave knowledge, like 5 up, 3 down, they'll probably get it. But it's good to know. And also, welcome. 75K first? No. At the moment, that would be a problem for the bull market. If you take 75K, you're looking at the end of a bull market, and then the flat would get higher probabilities. For your W being an ABC, isn't the C too long and has passed the 2.618? For a wave C, of course, your common is 1.236 and the 1.618. The 2.618 is longer, right? But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, low probabilities. This high volume 5 and the wave 4 shorter than 2, lower probabilities than counting this ABC, even though C is extended to a 2.618, which can happen. The longest C that I have seen was a 4.236, 3rd of January this year. So just after New Year's Eve, you'll see it was a big candle to the downside. So wave Cs can extend very far, but I prefer counting an ABC than an impulse ending on high volume 5 plus a 4 shorter than 2 in the same move. It's more common for corrective structures to end on a higher amount of volume than an impulsive structure. Because of time, we still need to make 2 big wave 4s. Yes, if you would make 2 more big wave 4s, that would be that would take a long time. Yeah, imagine you have 2 6-month sideways wave 4s. You're gonna be talking about at least another year of wave 4 price action, which means you're gonna end in 2026 with a bull market. So not March, October. You're correct, Christian. Yeah. Ranges are, I love ranges. Ranges for me is the favorite thing, man. Like that's where I enter. All my positions are entered in ranges. And then, price goes. I stuck Bitcoin at 83. Please tell, will it come to there? I'm not sure, Garav, what you mean with stuck, but if you're in a short, that's a bit of a problem, as we are in a bull market, of course. So your position size and how much it's worth. Your position is worth to you. Only trade with money you can lose. If it makes you very emotional and you have great difficulty to leave the chart, you're very emotionally involved. The moment price goes down, you're like, yes. And if price goes up, you're like, oh, fuck no. I'm not a financial advisor, but from my experience, I would close anything. Like if it starts messing up my emotional and my behavior during the day, it's not good, and you made a mistake. You take the L and you learn from the lesson. But that is what I would do based on my lessons in the past. Can it move down to 83? Yeah, you're correcting. 83 is still a wave 4 target. There's absolutely the potential of a bigger sideways range and a bit more downside. So yes, it is possible. But do we know if price is going to hit 83? Well, no, because we're in a bull market and the probabilities are higher, unrelated to unrelated to all the messy whatever is happening here, right? The probabilities are higher to still go up. Price does not need to take out this low, right? But it would be cleaner for a bigger structure, or that low, at least a bigger sideways range would be a bit nicer if you go to a low time frame. At the moment here, this of course also looks like a 3-wavy structure now, which would increase probabilities to continue ranging or at least take out this low. But minimum targets are reached. Probabilities higher up are still higher to continue to higher prices at a later stage. And what you do is of course up to you. Odin, send me a DM. When would the structure with the 1112s finish? depends on the wave force. So before we can start talking about a final target that is so accurate, right? We would need a couple of wave 4s and 5s, because your 5s can still be quite long, right? So if we have on a 4-hour time frame, if we currently look at this, right? You have 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4. Your wave 5s, it's a question mark. How long are your 5s? We have the common targets, but wave 5s can of course also be long. So yeah, and then you have 4 5, and then a 4, another 5, another 4, another 5, and maybe because of this structure here, another 4 5. So only at a later stage, once you are in the process of creating 4 5s and we are more confident that we are in wave 4 5 price action, that is when slowly but surely we can get to better targets. If peak is listed today, then there's no Elliott wave opportunity probably, and it's not useful to count yet. There's no information, no volume. But Silderoth, you can just count the chart, tag me with your count in the altcoin chat, and I'll have a look. On Ethereum, yeah, I still keep an eye on the triangle, but like on ETH. But the probabilities on ETH are higher to move up. I shared my ETH analysis in the altcoin stream last weekend, so I recommend to check that out. Abdul, wondering Elliott momentum strats work better in ranges. Well, Elliott waves works everywhere, but I love the ranges. First of all, I love puzzling ranges. It's like a game to me. And second, I tend to enter in ranges. And once price breaks out, that's just Elliott wave probabilities. Like, oh, yeah, we're looking for price to break out. And now that we're in all-time highs and price discovery, I just wait for new ranges to form, because the ranges will get me the probabilities again, right? For potentially new positions. So based on lower time frame counts and other things I look at, I might have another entry. But Elliott waves also works in a bull market, because now you know, right, based on the volume, based on the structure, based on extensions, that the probabilities are higher that you are in wave 3 price action. And that's good to know, right? That's good to know from an Elliott wave point of view, because it means that, okay, I'm still looking for at least a couple of 4 5s. So even if price retraces and then like even if you get this, you still expect price to move up. It's the same as when price was moving up here, we started ranging. But at all times, the probabilities were higher to still take out the high, even though we were going sideways and time, but then we went, we moved. So volume, structure, extension, bearish scenario, lower probabilities due to the 1.618 touched, increasing probabilities for the multi 1-2. And you don't even really need to go in detail. I like detail. But the only thing you can have on your chart is this, really. And then you just wait for probably a couple of weeks. And then eventually you move in 4-5 price action. And that is where, things start to get really interesting again. Do you show how to use? Yes, absolutely, Crazy Potato. Of course, we have covered this range in detail with pretty much 3 updates a day from the end of March, beginning of April, when I got back from my wedding, all the way to the breakout. So I love covering the ranges. Absolutely. So need to wait for more 4-5s, but we are in the target area of a 5, 80k to 129 with an extension to 176. Oh, a min or 2. Stopped using 15 at all. Okay, that's okay. That can happen. Yeah, I mean, if the time frame works better for you, then of course, make sure to use it, right, if it's more profitable. Altcoin, Solana has been done in the altcoin stream last Sunday, so make sure to click on the Linktree and go to the altcoin playlist. When does the reverse end? These also, like, these are questions that you're looking for a hard answer. It's the same as, will price go to 83? Will price move to 150K? When is this correction going to end? Those type of questions, unfortunately, can never be answered. The only thing that I can say as an analyst, and which you can only say to yourself as an analyst, is that the probabilities are higher for this to happen based on my analysis, right? When does it end? Well, we can use fib times to get an estimation, but we'll never know exactly when it ends, right? We know our invalidations. We know the probabilities are higher on the daily to continue to the upside, and on the 4 hour to continue to the upside. Now, based on this leg down and on the time of this structure, preferably price is going to correct a little bit longer so that your 4 looks better compared to your wave 2. But the minimum time for a wave 4 has already been checked, which is the 0.382 fib time taken from the start to the end of 2 to the end of your 3 here, right? We made the low after the 382. The minimum price target, the 618, has also been touched. So there is a potential for it to finish. It's just probability-wise would be a bit nicer if you correct for a longer period of time instead of that being the end. And so yeah, we played a game of probabilities and not of knowing things to the T, because you can't in trading. So it's being on the right direction, right? Being on the right side of the market. So yeah, you can't answer this, but yeah, hopefully soon is then the answer, no? If you want to see continuation. A wave 4, the minimum target for a wave 4 has been reached. Maximum targets would start 13th of November. That's your range. So, as mentioned, you can have a range on the chart. And this would be your end of wave 4 range in time, right? Where is it going to finish? Well, who knows? Right? Depends on the subwaves that you get for your wave 4. But you're still going to be looking for price to move up afterwards. If you move into 5s, that's when probabilities are really starting to get low for 4s. Or at least a white 4, then you might be looking at the blue 4. So yeah, that's as good as it gets, I suppose. Papa, for fear, can you show the possible range we are in? Yeah, but I mean that's what I pretty much always do because of all the time frames. If you follow, of course, the video. So imagine I would only cover the 15 minutes here in the video. Then because I cover probably one video before or one live stream before, I'm covering the 4 hour and the daily time frame. There's no need for me to then in that same video cover the daily again while zooming in on the 15 only. Because I cover the higher time frames a lot as well, because I like to zoom out and then zoom in. So even if I would cover a local range here, because of the amount of times I also talk about the weekly and the daily, if I'm going to make a video only about the 15-minute time frame, it's, like, especially people that return, they should know where we are in the bigger scheme of things. And then, of course, in a live stream, I tend to cover many different time frames. Something I can keep in mind, but I wouldn't necessarily implement that in a video. So if I would only analyze the low time frames, I would go to a 4 hour chart and I would then count this. So I would show this here. So on the 1 hour, actually, I would then say, okay, we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if we zoom into our wave 4, and then I go into the 50-minute time frame. But then I'm of course leaving out all of the info here, but it's not relevant for the context of the video. Good morning, Jeffrey. XRP breakout. We first have to wait for a breakout, or is XRP already an all-time high? I would be surprised if it went that quick, but yeah. Also, XRP has been covered in previous altcoin streams. We're looking for XRP to still take out all-time high. Isn't the actual move very much mimicking the impulse move of Feb March? Your price can rhyme, but it never repeats. So in this case, this move here towards the upside is a different structure. And if you already had a range, so this is Elliott waves, right? The fact you had this range here, 1 second. I guess it's probably a little bit of a lack of, of course, Elliott wave theory knowledge. But of course, we had a bigger range here. We had a bigger range here. You're either going to label this wave 1, this range itself is a wave 2, wave 4, or you're going to count a double 1, 2, right? That's the options at the moment. Now, if price would move up, if you finish a wave 5 here, and your wave 5, that's the one that, yes, you have a bigger range, but then you're going to have a bear market before then later going back up. So you won't have this size range over here. In the more bullish scenario, if this is 2 and we are looking for a wave 3, then this is too short. You're looking for much, 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 much higher. And then you get ranges the size of this. And then this is your 4, 5, and then you get another one. And that's another 4, and then another 5, right? So that is the difference. So the fact that you have a big range here doesn't say anything about this looks maybe similar, but yeah, every impulse on a high time frame, on a weekly, starts with low time frame 1-2s. So theoretically, the start of an impulse always looks the same, because you have a couple of 1-2s, then your 3, and then you get your 4-5s, right? So you always have this as a start and basically this as an end. And that is also what you have here, couple of 1-2s, couple of 1-2s, right? Here also, especially here, couple of 1-2s. So yeah, always looks similar. When will we go? Yeah, guys, you can't answer these questions, right? I just explained, you can't answer when questions. When do we end the correction? When do you hit this level? When do you XYZ? You can't answer this. That's wishful thinking, right? Price moves up. We take it step by step. God knows when you're going to hit 100K, 120K, right? You don't know. You don't know. The only time estimation that we can do is that your all-time high is very likely to end between March and October, between 80K and 176K. And then based on lower time frame structures, we'll know where we end up. But is that going to be all-time high at 100K? Is the all-time high at 110, at 130, 160? We will analyze that as we get more information. Any question about when will the market, exact questions that you can't answer these. When will it go 120K? In time, that would be the answer. So to place entries in the define, you sell a part of your position. Do you have a percent? No, like I'm a market entry trader. So I just enter. I don't sell a part of my position. I buy my position. So yeah, I just enter a new position. Danielle, as I learned from you that if price touches the 886, we take out the high, but another theory is the price rejection, there's a deeper correction expected. Is that the case as well? But then that move down is likely to be a wave C, because this is the good word, deeper correction. Now, from the 886 to the golden pocket is quite a common structure. If you do move deeper, then very likely, yes, you're looking for a wave C or Y and then a reversal later. So the moment the 886 is touched, the only info you have is probabilities are high, you're going to take the high. If you take an 886 from the high to the low, right, the probabilities are high to take out that high. So if this, right, so you have the 886. And if price touches the 886, it will happen very often. It moves back to the golden pocket and then it continues. You'll see that many times. But if price would move down deeper, the probabilities are higher that this move is a wave C or a wave Y or part of a corrective structure, and you still expect continuation up afterwards. So the only thing that an 886 gives you is it gives you the probabilities and the bias of taking out this high. And then based on a local trading plan, you can trade in that direction. But that is, of course, personal trading preference and plan. You just made 2 straight lines using a mouse. Well spotted. Thanks. Yeah, I'm such a gamer, man. Only salary. Oh, that's healthy stuff. And welcome, Ali, Miku. What's up, Patrick? How you doing, man? Yeah, exactly. Do you also have a spot or only scalping? I'm a day trader, so I don't scalp on the low time frames. I do have a bit of spot, but my main thing is I like to trade. But yes, I do have a bit of spot because of my Elliott wave counts on the higher time frames. Danielis, should we consider that Bitcoin now is going down for a retest? Depends on the down. So make sure to check the analysis because I gotta go. It's already 5 p.m. But make sure to check the analysis and you will know exactly what we're looking for. Yeah. No, all good, Crazy Potato. You know, ask everything you can. No problem. It wasn't a question like when somebody. Good luck or good job, yes. Good job. Ranges are the biggest opportunity always. So you know, it's good to ask questions about ranges. Many others are calling this the top of the cycle. That does not seem like. You mean the top here at 90? Yeah, that's low probabilities. You would need to take out 66K. You would first take out 75 and we might start to consider a deeper retracement. Take out 66 and that's a problem for the bull market. So yeah. ETH unchanged. Haven't checked ETH this stream. Bitcoin focus in today's live stream, but Ethereum is unchanged compared to the live stream, the altcoin stream. As in the altcoin stream, I explained that on Ethereum on the weekly time frame probabilities remain much higher to take out all-time high at some point. Again, price will not move into a straight line, right? In one direction, it will always move up and down in waves, but it hasn't changed. There's still the potential of like bigger triangles on ETH with a you up and then down again and then up, but yeah, very much still looking up on Ethereum. Fair value gaps, do they work with Elliott waves? It's an additional area of confluence, so the answer would be yes. I have to go, so that's why I put on the webcam. But yes, like you have Elliott waves, right? That's a separate tool. And then in Confluence for your trading, you can use other tools like time frame horizontals, volume profile, order flow, FVGs, anything. Florian, I answered your question in the comment section on YouTube. So that 886 is less relevant as it was later in a corrective structure. It can, same as on Bitcoin, right? When we made the low, and it took it hit the 886, but it can be part of a triangle, WXY, and especially as price afterwards ranged sideways for so long, not taking out that low, it significantly reduces probabilities of that 886. But can you revisit it later? Maybe, but it's not 886 probabilities anymore. Because the relevant 886s are the two I pulled in the altcoin live stream, from the high to the low. Make sure to check the comment that I wrote to you as well. Okay, everyone, I gotta go. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We've covered the weekly, daily, 4-hour local time frame as well. Tomorrow we do have some news, by the way, so that should be interesting. Maybe we get some spicy price action again, some volatility. Not that we really need more volatility, but hey, I mean, more is more fun, so no problem. But thanks for hanging out. It's quite unlikely I'll really make an update later tonight, because this is with price action. If you're not in a big range, there's usually not too much to say. So unless really something significantly changes on a 15-minute or 1 hour, I'll probably put the next update online tomorrow morning, and then we'll see where price is. But thanks everyone for being here. Cheers, and yeah, gonna see you again at the next one.